We talk again and again in our Pronto Tax School training materials about how it is a new era of the tax industry. And so for you as a tax professional, and for us as tax professionals, we need to be equipped for success in this new era. And one of the main things that we need to do is move the perception of our clients to trusted consultant, trusted advisor, not just filling out tax forms, which they think anyone can do. They think they can do that themselves online. And increasingly they can, because these software programs are so good and they're getting better every year. So we have to get better than the robots, if that makes sense, every year. And I want to give you an example in this video of some consulting that you can give to your client that is a relatively simple piece of advice, but it can really move the needle for your client in terms of saving them some money and also just change their perception of you as a professional to really be that trusted consultant, that trusted advisor. So a lot of people pay for childcare expenses, right? And often that can be quite expensive. There are some tax benefits available for paying childcare expenses. And there are actually two main benefits. This spreadsheet shows you somebody that's paying $3,000 of childcare expenses. And these are the two benefits that taxpayer may be eligible for. And that depends on a lot of different factors. So this is a simplified example, but just follow along with me here and I think you'll see what I mean. The taxpayer may have the option at work to receive a tax-free fringe benefit. So the employer could say, hey, you could sign up for this program at work that we have, a child care benefits program, and we'll be able to provide you that money tax-free as long as you document it back to the employer of that you did actually spend it on child care expenses, and then it will show up. Let me show you where it shows up on W-2 in box 10. So dependent care benefits, whatever amount is in that box is not going to be taxed. So it's like the employee got paid, but they didn't get any tax assessed to that payment. So $3,000, the value of this benefit for that client, that taxpayer who's eligible for tax-free dependent care benefits, is going to depend on the marginal tax rate of that taxpayer. So it will vary. Like any deduction, the value and the tax savings associated with the deduction will vary depending on the tax rate. So you can use this simple spreadsheet to plug in, hey, what's the marginal tax rate? Obviously, if it's 32%, right, that's going to be more of a savings than if it's 12%. So you can just kind of mess around and see what's the benefit. And then you can compare that to what the benefit would be from claiming the child care credit. There's a lot of taxpayers, a lot of clients will end up where they could choose. They could either do the dependent care benefit plan at work, or they could claim the tax credit on their tax return. And they'll want to know from you what is the benefit, or what's the better choice, let's say. So if we look at Form 2441, we can see that there are certain income amounts associated with certain percentages of the credit, right? So that would be this figure. You know, if it's a credit amount of 35% of the expense, that's going to be a much bigger benefit. Now, in truth, a lot of times these numbers are not going to be hugely different, but they may have some kind of a difference where you could save your client some money. And let's take a look inside the tax program to see how that could work. So if you wanted to look at, say, your tax summary, you'd be able to pick out, here's your marginal rate, 25%. And then let's say you filled out a Form 2441 for your client, you'd be able to see, here's your credit percentage, right? Just like we saw over on this form, line 8 is going to have your credit percentage. If you prefer to look at it in Excel, because like I said, sometimes that is easier a format to digest. It's just very simple and straightforward. You can say, hey, tax rate, marginal tax rate 25%. That means that if you sign up for that child care benefits plan at work and you divert $3,000 of your salary, you're going to save $750 in taxes. So that's going to reduce to some degree your actual after-tax cost of your child care. But if you're going to pick up let's say it is 20%, because you would be, and that's in that example, realistically, you would be over, so you'd be at the lowest percentage. So you would save more by doing the dependent care benefit plan at work than you would by doing the credit. Again, it's not a huge amount of money, $150, but it is enough to say to your client, this is the wise way to go about it. You know, you're better off doing this, and this is why, and here's the savings that you get. So if you, as a tax professional, let's say you're charging, you know, $250 to do the tax return or $200, you want to always show that, hey, I'm saving you more money with my advice, and also I'm just giving you the information that you need. Because that's a lot of times what clients want out of us as tax professionals these days. They don't want to just sit there and have us, most of them, some of them still do, but most clients these days, I find, they want more information. They want to understand a little more about their financial situation. And this is one straightforward, relatively simple way to show your expertise and show that client that you're working on their behalf for their best benefit, and that you're not just entering information into the computer, which they could do themselves at home. So be conscious of that as tax professionals. It's something that we focus on a lot in working with clients. It's very effective in raising your value in the eyes of clients, and I hope this video helps you do that. Have a great day. I know we'll be talking to you soon.